Emily and John were best friends. They lived in a small town in Maine. The town was quiet, nestled by the sea. One chilly afternoon, they decided to visit Mr. Finnegan's antique shop.
Mr. Finnegan was a quirky old man. He always had interesting stories about his items.
The shop was filled with dusty furniture and forgotten treasures. Emily loved looking at the old books. John preferred the antique clocks. They always wondered about the people who owned these things. Where were they now? What were their stories?
As they browsed, something caught John's eye. It was a wooden box tucked away on a shelf. The box was carved with strange symbols. It looked very old. "Emily, look at this,"
John called out, his voice echoing in the quiet shop. Emily walked over, her eyes widening with curiosity. The box was covered in dust. It looked like it hadn't been touched in years.
Wow, it looks ancient.
She whispered, tracing the strange carvings with her finger. Mr. Finnegan shuffled over, his eyes twinkling.
That's a real mystery, that box is. Found it in an old attic years ago. Couldn't tell you what those carvings mean, though.
Do you know how old it is?
19th century, at least. Maybe even older. Couldn't get it open, though. Tried every trick in the book.
John and Emily exchanged an excited look.
We have to have it.
All right, $5 and it's yours.
They bought the box and hurried back home. They couldn't wait to unlock its secrets. They gathered around their living room table, their excitement growing.
What if it's filled with treasure?
Emily whispered, her eyes sparkling. John carefully turned the box over in his hands. He tried prying it open. The box wouldn't budge. It was securely locked. For days, they tried to open the box. They tried everything they could think of. Finally, John discovered a hidden latch. With a soft click, the box creaked open. Inside, there was no treasure. Instead, they found a stack of old letters. The letters were tied together with faded ribbon. They were written on thin parchment. The ink was faded with time.
My dearest Elizabeth.
Emily read, her voice filled with emotion.
The world seems so dull without your radiant smile.
The letters spoke of their love, their dreams, and their adventures.
As they read through the letters, John and Emily felt a connection to William and Elizabeth. Their story was so romantic, so real. They felt like they were reliving a forgotten time. Their story is too beautiful to keep to ourselves.
We could share their story with the world. We could start a YouTube channel.
And so they did. They called their channel Timeless Love. They decided to share William and Elizabeth's love story with the world. They read their letters, showed the old photographs, and even visited some of the places mentioned in the letters.
Their first video was an instant hit.
People were captivated by the love story of William and Elizabeth.
Viewers were touched by the genuine emotions in the letters.
They were invested in finding out what happened to the lovers.
As our channel grew in popularity, we began to receive messages from people all over the world.
Some shared their own love stories, inspired by William and Elizabeth.
Others offered clues about their descendants.
One day we received a message that sent chills down our spines.
A woman named Sarah wrote to us.
She believed that William and Elizabeth were her great-great-grandparents.
John and I were stunned.
Could it be true? Could we actually reunite the descendants of William and Elizabeth?
We contacted Sarah immediately, and soon we were on a video call with her.
Sarah was just as excited as we were.
She had heard stories about her great-great-grandparents' love story from her grandmother.
She had always cherished those stories.
We shared everything we had learned about William and Elizabeth.
We showed Sarah the letters, the photographs, and even the small trinkets we had found in the box.
As we talked, Sarah mentioned that she had a brother named David.
David was a history buff.
He was fascinated by their family history.
We knew we had to introduce him to our channel. We uncovered tales of adventure, heartbreak, and enduring love. We discovered more letters and mementos in the box. We continued to share the stories of William and Elizabeth. They were touched by the power of love that transcended time. People from all walks of life were drawn to our channel. Soon, we had thousands of subscribers. Word of our channel spread like wildfire. He was hooked. The letters and photographs were like missing pieces of a puzzle. He had never been able to find much information about William and Elizabeth. He had been researching their family tree for years. David was amazed by what we had discovered.
Their channel became a global sensation. They were invited to talk shows and interviewed for newspapers. But for John and Emily, the greatest reward was the connections they had made.
We had reunited families, rekindled old romances, and reminded the world that love truly never dies.
Through the power of storytelling, we brought history to life.
The dusty old box had unlocked a treasure trove of emotions.
It had connected people across generations.
John and Emily had stumbled upon something special, something magical. They had found a way to bring the past, present, and future together through the timeless power of love.